Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday, July 9th, 5 p.m. Finance Committee meeting here at the Government Center. We're excited to call this meeting to order. We do have enough members present to make our roll call and to make a quorum, only missing members Klaus, Farley, and Leffler. So considering item number 1 on the agenda being complete, we can continue on to the consent agenda, which includes the approval of the minutes for June 4th regular meeting and the recommended approval of bills and transfers to the county board. Might I have a motion on the floor? We have a motion by Member Fagan and a second by Member Roseman Mendoza. Comments or questions? Seeing none, we'll put it to a vote. Item 2, consent agenda. All of those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. Moving on to item number 3, appearance by members of the public and county employees. Administrator Taylor, have we had anyone apply for public comment this evening?
We've had no requests.
With no requests, that continues us on to item number 4, where we hit our departmental matters. Item number 4A is welcoming our county treasurer, Ms. Becky McNeil. Thank you very much for your presence tonight, Ms. McNeil. We do have one item to be presented for action. 4A1A is to accept and place on file the county treasurer's monthly financial report that we have distributed in front of us. Might I have a motion to put it on the floor? Motion by our Vice Chair Frederick and a second by Member Fagan. Let's go over to Ms. McNeil. Ms. McNeil, if you would enlighten us with the monthly report.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I have to apologize to Julie first because I did not send my reports until kind of a late hour this afternoon, and I sincerely apologize. The ERP project has been draining me of all of my time, and it has just been, it's been a challenge. But for the month of June, on the tax revenue, I'm just going to go straight to the bottom line. I mean, at this point in time, according to the budget, we'd like to be about $8,700,000. We're at $8,409,000. So we're at 49.7% of budget right now, which is pretty good, actually. The difference is about $300,000. The receipts for the month of June were actually ahead of June of last year, but we do have that shift in the local use tax that's pushing up those numbers in the countywide sales tax and the county sales tax. So anyway, that just makes it look awful when you see a drop in $80,000 or 80% there in your revenue. But just know that those numbers have shifted up into the actual sales tax, according to Illinois Department of Revenue. Going into the shared sales tax revenue for the month of June, Town of Normal, $196,000, Bloomington, $322,000. For the month of June, $519,000 compared to $429,000 in June of 2024. And that right now is currently $211,000 positive compared to 2024. The equity in that fund, please always remember, it's not just the shared sales tax revenue. That fund is used for other purposes. It includes the shared sales tax, behavioral health program, and the SOC grant. The fund equity is $20,257,000. Property tax revenue, obviously through the month of June, we got through first installment distributions. At this point in time, the county's received $25,721,000 of its levy, which is 52.15%. That's typical. During the first installment, obviously, we have some taxpayers that will pay both first and second. So pretty happy with where that stands right now. The motor fuel tax, you can see the breakdown between the regular and the renewal fund. The total for county motor fuel through June, $2,043,000. Total for township, $1,696,000. We're at that point right now where that revenue coming in from the renewal fund is actually exceeding the typical monthly township and county motor fuel tax revenue. So, on the investment report, that's the next item. We had quite a few CDs and treasuries mature in June. I probably should have put an asterisk by them so you could see that the rates really, during the month of June, the rates really didn't change too much. So I was kind of happy to see that. Only, in some cases, we would be able to get a special and maintain a rate above 4%. Although, in some cases, we also had some rates come in around 3%. So we're still really, really fortunate to have these rates on this investment report in the high 3% and low 4% range. I mean, it's really incredible. Treasuries are kind of hovering right now about 4%. Again, we're very fortunate on the investment side to have that. The Illinois funds rate is the end of the month. We closed last month at 4.439, and this month we closed at 4.475. And the Illinois funds, that is where we park the bulk of our cash, 28.6 million in pooled cash alone, that we don't want to lock up and invest long-term. We're going to be needing that in the coming months, and I'm still, going to continue to ladder out treasuries, but the Illinois funds is where we sit. We'll park the bulk of our cash that we're just waiting for, like each payroll or each accounts payable when we transfer in. So, interest earned in 2025 on that last page there, and this is only through May because my staff, they're still they haven't even reconciled the June statements. Those were just received this week. But the interest accrued through May, $1,445,000. I mean, it's not going to be as high as 2024, but we're still going to hopefully end up in that high $3 to low $4 million range. The next report is the Blue Cross Blue Shield self-insurance report. I was kind of happy to see that the June expenses for 2025, I mean, $677,000. That's quite a bit better than where we were in May and April. So our total expenses on our self-insured plan, $4,289,334, and that is $634,000 above where we were in 2024. So the next report is the nursing home report. And our audit, we are actually still under audit right now. I know that Clifton Larson Allen finally has the ACFR from the county auditor. They got it during the first week of July. I think it was just on Sunday or something like that. So they're currently reviewing the ACFR. But in the course of turning ACFR over to them, she made some of the final journal entries that we were waiting for 2024. And so for the nursing home, at this point in time, it looks like the nursing home has ended 2024 in a positive position. I actually just saw that today in creating my reports and looking at these beginning balances that changed and going back and looking at 2024 so I could record my beginning balances at the new levels. But that's really exciting news for the nursing home. Obviously, you'll get the full report when the audit is finalized, and that is presented hopefully during the August finance meeting. It's very important that it be produced and presented during that August finance meeting. Otherwise, there'll be ramifications for that to the county because we have essentially missed the 6-month deadline required by the state comptroller's office. We currently are riding on an extension through August, but if that comprehensive annual financial report and audit is not presented to the board and is not filed then with the county clerk's office, and we don't do our required publication, McLean County government tax distributions will be withheld by the county collector. So we're in an unfortunate situation right now. I know that administration is working with our external auditors, Clifton Larson Allen, We've also reached out to them and said, let us know if there's anything that you need. Hopefully, they will be able to get their review of the ACFR done, and the auditor will be able to finish that up during the month of July, so that can be presented during the month of August. The other thing that the county will be subject to if it's not presented during the month of August, the county will be subject to penalties by Illinois Department of, or Illinois, the Illinois Comptroller's Office for not having our AFR filed by, I think it's August 29th. So it's an unfortunate situation. I want to make you aware of it. Obviously, hopefully next month, we hope that those financial reports will come forward and be presented, that our external auditors, Clifton Larson Allen, will be ready. It's not a situation where they were not ready to review our ACFR. It was a situation where the ACFR was not provided to them in a timely manner as the county typically has in the past. But hopefully Clifton Larson Allen can make up for that timing, and we can get this presented to the board during the month of August. So with all that being said, the nursing home, again, I think at this point in time, it looks like that 2024, the nursing home ended up in a positive position when you compare revenues to expenditures, and that is huge because it's been a long time coming. The nursing home, as you know, has had challenges and struggles, and then of course they've had to deal with many of the governmental accounting standards that have to be imposed on them as a unit underneath of McLean County government. So that's again, it's really exciting news. So for the nursing home, their major revenue sources are their Medicaid, private pay, VA, and Medicare. Right now, year to date, $4,262,000. And this is only accrued through May. So we wouldn't expect it to be at the 50% mark. We would expect it to be about 41% or so. So they're slightly under on their major sources of revenue. They're number 3. When you look at their total revenues compared to their total accrued expenses right now, the expenses are exceeding the revenues by $22,203. Again, we don't have everything accrued on here. But right now, expenses are exceeding revenue by about $22,000. The receivable, at the beginning of the year, the receivable was $5,166,000. The nursing home has made significant efforts to go through those outstanding receivables and write off ones that they were not able to recover, rebill ones that they might have missed a code or something has changed, but they've rebilled them, and so they've been able to add some revenue. And the receivable at the end of May was $4,803,000. So that's gone down by $363,000 here in 2025. The cash at the beginning of the year, we had cash of negative $1,332,000. At the end of May, we have cash at $1,371,000, negative $1,371,000. So cash has dropped a little further, but it's not significant. Fund to equity, the beginning of the year, we have $1,507,000, and right now we're at $1,484,000. So that's that $22,000 there where expenses have exceeded revenue. And then we still have a bad debt reserve. This is set aside for write-offs on that receivable. So that's still at $2.8 million. So that's all I have to report.
Thank you very much, Ms. McNeil. Comments or questions from the committee, please? Yes, Member Fagan.
Just out of curiosity, do you know what the occupancy of the nursing home is? What percentage?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I don't get those details from Mr. Wiley. He reports those to his committee.
Okay, thank you.
Other comments or questions? Okay. Thank you again very much. Let's go ahead and then take item 4A1A, accepting and placing on file the county treasurer's monthly financial reports to a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. Any items, moving on to 2A, do you have any additional items to be presented for information this evening?
No, I'm good.
right.
No, thank you.
Thank you very much. Certainly understand with the ERP system that you have been under a lot of action, a lot of go time, especially coming off of last month's conversations after the tax bill deadline and like that. So it seems like you and your team have really just been after it. So thank you for all of your efforts
Thank you.
to keep us going. And thank you for the additional information that's really helpful to understand where we are with the audit process and with the ACRA and like that. So definitely appreciate all the information that you've shared and your assistance in providing for those things.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
You as well. Moving on to item number 4B, where we welcome our Director of Animal Services, Ms. Marshall Thompson. So Ms. Thompson has 2 items to be presented for action this evening. Item 4B1A is the request approval of a resolution declaring surplus property at the Animal Services Department. Might I have a motion to put it on the floor for discussion? Motion by Member Roseman Mendoza, and a second, I believe, was Member Fagan. Ms. Thompson, over to you for any information that we should know regarding this item.
This is a vehicle that's non-drivable and very costly to repair if we put any investment in it. It's a 2008. I would like to, with your permission, do a sale for surplus, and we'd like to get it off the premise so that when we go to the new facility, we don't have to tow it over there and park it there.
Absolutely understand. Thank you very much. And with GovDeals, this is actually a program that we've used pretty consistently, like in the property committee. We've used it to sell off surplus kayaks, to sell off surplus vehicles that the various departments, I think the highway department has used it quite a bit as well. So this is a program that the county is very accustomed to using to get rid of any equipment that we have deemed surplus or unusable at this point. So I'll see if we have any comments or questions from the committee. All right, seeing none, let's go ahead and vote on 4B1A, request approval of the resolution declaring surplus property at the Animal Services Department. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. Item 4B1B is the request approval of the ordinance temporarily amending Chapter 205-32, fees for animal adoptions. Might I have a motion for that item? Motion by Vice Chair Friedrich, and a second? Was that a second? By, I was going to say, there we go. Well, I mean, we could go either way. We'll go a second from Member Roseman Mendoza. Thank you all for being so active and putting these items on the floor so we can discuss them. So with that, we'll go over to Ms. Thompson. What information would you like to share with us this evening?
I'm requesting a temporary ordinance change to help promote adoptions and our new name change announcement to McLean County Animal Services. I thought, what a great way to announce that we have that coming pretty quickly by doing a reduction in adoption fees. That would also help the animals that we currently have at the facility find forever loving homes and do a nice celebration and announcement. We have a lot of wonderful things that are about to occur, and there was a collaboration, and these ideas I think are great, trying new things to reach out to the community and the public and find our dogs and cats, you know, new homes, so they're no longer at the shelter.
Wonderful, thank you very much. Comments or questions from the committee? This looks like a great plan to maybe make the moving process a little bit easier, but also love that we're able to draw a little bit of attention to animal services and also draw attention to the new facility that'll be on the way.
I think it'll be great, and it'll just really be able to showcase the animals, the hard work of the staff, you know, the collaboration of the community, administration, the board. There's just so many wonderful things that will come out of this, and I really hope that you approve it. I think it's a great idea.
It's an awesome and inventive idea, at least from my purvey. And I will say, I definitely appreciate that we do have the medical that's lumped in to make it the lower cost as well. So that
That
way,
makes it nice.
it's savings across the board to share a little bit of love. So
Yeah, and I appreciate administration helping us out with that project, so thank you.
thank you, administration. Let's go ahead and put it to a vote. 4B, 1B, the request approval of the ordinance temporarily amending Chapter 205, 32 fees for animal adoptions. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. 4B, 2 will take us over to your monthly report, if you would, Ms. Thompson.
Well, the photo is fantastic. Seeing the nice layout there, so I like to showcase that, and I just can't wait to be there. I mean, it's just so beautiful, wonderful. So MCAC staff continues to diligently care for the animals, and once again, I want to appreciate all their hard work and dedication to the animals, and they do a fantastic job in that day-to-day operations and caring for the sick and the needsy at the facility. So year-to-date, we've had 131 cats and 51 dogs have been transferred into other programs, in addition to the private adoptions of 25 dogs and 39 cats, totaling 248 pets that have been adopted or transferred. So I want to appreciate our community partners for helping pull those transfers, the private adopters who've come in and sought and found their forever friend with us. During the month of June, showcasing the rescues who came to the facility and transferred. They're listed there on our little chart. So thank you for those that are helping. And they come and when they get adopted in their facility, then they come and pull from us. And it's just a great relationship to help keep those animals moving. And for our rabies prevention program, we facilitated 173 rabies inoculations through June of 2025. We've submitted for rabies testing 26 bats, 2 raccoons, 1 cat, and 3 dogs. And we'll probably start seeing that increase in the next 2 months because we're coming into bat season. So we'll keep you apprised of that with each of our committee meetings. We've monitored 248 bite bat rabies investigations. And we have a great collaboration with the communicable disease at the health department. And they work with us, they review those investigations, and it really is a life-saving effort in relationship to how we work with our community and make sure everyone gets the attention they need for the incidents that occur within our community. So I want to give a big shout out to the health department for participating in all of those efforts. There's a breakdown there of the species of all the animals that we've did our investigations on. Sorry, it's tiny print, I can't see it. And so I'd like to remind pet owners to vaccinate for rabies. If you need help with that, please contact us. We can look at available resources and see how we can help you do that. And then if you've been bitten, once again, please reach out to Animal Control and let us help you triage through that so we can ensure that everyone is safe, including you and your pet. And then, as always, bats are getting in homes, so if you have the opportunity, while it's still nice out, to check your home so they can't get inside. And then if you have any questions, don't hesitate to call and we'll help you find some of those Department of Natural Resources to help you prevent them from getting inside. And our overpopulation control portion, we facilitated 104 cat alters, 67 canine alters, implanted 202 microchips, and 173 rabies vaccines. Wanted to jump down to our volunteer and foster program. Our partnerships with Raider Family Farms and Baby Animal Days. We saw a lot of fun activity, friends and family and kids coming and holding our kittens and looking for adoption promotions. And it was just such a great day to reach back out to the community. And I really do enjoy these moments because kids get to see us in a positive way, and that's the next generation. And it really gives Animal Control and the county an opportunity to benefit from seeing so many people at one time. And we also had our police departments come out and do fun things and give out badges and things like that, and hold our baby kittens. That was very cute and adorable. Let's see, we've reclaimed 95 dogs, 13 cats, and totaling 108 pets that have been reunited with their pet owners. And as always, we continue to do our data entry with rabies certificate and tags, maintain our contractual obligations. And most important, we are really excited about moving into the new facility. So if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them regarding the report.
Any comments or questions from the committee? Yeah, Member Fagan.
Were there any positive rabies tests?
None that I recall, and I can get that for you at the next committee meeting, or I could send it to you email.
Okay,
I know there was 3 last year, but
Okay.
I've not heard that there's been a positive one this year.
thank
So
you.
that's good. I really.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
As more bats, we test more bats, we're going to probably see 1 or 2 every year.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Great question.
Any others? Do have to say it's rather exciting to continue to see the progress of the building. And thank you very much for hosting the property tour last month. That was really wonderful to be able to actually see some of that progress come to life. And it'll be exciting to be able to celebrate with you all in person shortly, actually in that facility. Did want to also call out on the animal adoption piece. I loved that you called out that the kittens really enjoyed playing with the kids. Usually we hear about the kids really enjoying playing with the kittens, but to see joy with the animals too is a lot of fun. So thank you for all the information that you bring to the committee and all the information that you bring to the community as well regarding how we should best interact with the animals in our area.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right. That brings us on to item number 4C with our county auditor, Michelle Anderson, who is not present this evening. On 4C, we have no items to be presented for action. Do we have any items to be presented for information that were sent ahead of time?
No, we do not.
Already. That carries us directly along to 4D, where we get to welcome our county clerk, Ms. Kathy Michael. Ms. Michael does have one item to be presented for action this evening. That is 4D1A, the request approval of a resolution declaring surplus property in the county clerk's office. Might I have a motion to put this on the floor for discussion? We have a motion by Member Fagan and a second by Vice Chair Friedrich. Ms. Michael, I'll go ahead and turn to you and to your team to hear a little bit more about this particular item.
Hi, I'd like to introduce you to Mark Singer. If you haven't met Mark, our Director of Elections, who did a lot of homework, and we learned a lot about getting rid of, in a nice way, our surplus stuff. It's a big old cardware, and I think it's an antique, but we'll find out if we have permission to release this into the public, and Mark can give you any details that you might need. Thanks, Mark.
Comments or questions from the committee?
For those that aren't informed, what is a cardveyor?
That is an excellent question. A cardveyor is historically known to hold older voter registration cards. So when we had to look up a voter registration card, we would select the letter of the last name, and the machine would rotate the voter card up. That's it. Currently, we don't use that anymore, and we're just electronic now, so.
Any other comments or questions? And then just one thing that I had reached out for clarity on, and I thank you to your team for providing, but just want to make sure and make it abundantly clear, there is, in it being able to auction off or to sell off surplus equipment of this fashion, there is no voter information that is going to be potentially transferred. Nothing still stored in there. All of that information has been appropriately sealed or put away or done away with in whatever fashion to make sure that the new owner of it does not contain our equipment or our proprietary information, correct?
Yes, Chair. Thank you for that question, too. We pride ourselves on election security at the McLean County Clerk's Office. Again, this machine is just a machine that rotates. There is no data, no computer, nothing that can be used against voter fraud.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your clarification, and thank you for digging in for all of that information for us. With no other questions or comments from the committee, we'll go ahead and put 4D1A to a vote. That's the request approval of a resolution declaring surplus property in the county clerk's office. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the motion carries. Thank you very much. Moving on to item D2 with the monthly reports from the recording department. Ms. Michael, any information that we should know regarding monthly reporting from your team?
No, we don't have anything new to add that's not usually out there. It's just a busy time, lots of marriages as well, and vital records, and really busy. Elections are already picking up here in July, so it's going to be another interesting time there. And great staff, and they're all doing a great job. And occasionally we'll get to take their vacations as we get ready for the elections in 2026.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And exciting to hear that it's a fun and exciting time in your department as well, getting to celebrate some of the fun and happy stuff along the way with marriages and births and like that when folks come in. So, great. Final comments or questions from the committee? All right, thank you all for your presence here this evening. Do appreciate it and your service to the county. Moving on to item 4E. This is where we welcome our Supervisor of Assessments, Mr. Timothy Jorsak. Mr. Jorsak has no items to be presented for action this evening. He does have items to be presented for information in his report. Mr. Jorsak, I'll turn it over to you.
Oh, thank you very much, Chair Lehman. Excuse me, I appreciate the opportunity to come here. Saddle up, I got a lot of information to throw at you here. I'll try to be as brief as I can, but we'll see where it goes. First off, our cycle, our property tax assessment cycle, we are well into the throes of it. We have 27 townships out of 31 who are in and at various stages of approval. Right now, 10 of those townships, I'm happy to report, we have all of the equalization work done. So all we are waiting on for that is mailing out of the notices. Currently, our median factor is sitting somewhere in the ballpark of 8.5%, which is kind of what we thought it was going to be. It's a little bit lower than it was last year. I think our median was in the 10.5 to 11% range last year. So with the way the housing market has really started cooling down, we're starting to see some of those sales numbers reflected in our 3-year average. So that's sort of positive news for the taxpayers, but we're coming down a little bit, but we are still at historically elevated levels on that number. We are waiting on books. So we have books in for 27 of the 31. We are still waiting on books for 4. 2 of those townships are a multi-township assessment district that we have a new assessor who was appointed very late in the cycle. And we've been in contact with her. I know she's doing everything she can to get those books in as quickly as possible. So I'm not worried about it. It's just a matter of giving that jurisdiction time to get itself situated. And then the last 2 are just our 2 big townships, Normal and City of Bloomington. Normal has said we'll have the books in August. Bloomington, we're hoping at some point in September that they'll have their stuff in. We are looking right now, like we did last year, at having 3 publication dates for all 31 townships. The first 2 of those very tentatively right now, so don't hold me to this, I'll have better information for you next month. But right now we are looking at mailing assessment notices for 27 of the 31, having those notices mailed out in the 2nd and 3rd week of August. So that will be most of the townships, and then the last 4 will be at some point later on in the middle of fall after we've gotten those books in, and that'll be our pantograph publication for the townships kind of in the center, south center part of the county. New this year, well, new-ish, because it was actually new last year, but we've built on the program. You'll recall last year we went to postcards to mail most of our assessment notices. We had really good reaction from that, we were able to generate some substantial cost savings on our mailing. We took some of the feedback that we got from taxpayers last year. They said, we appreciate the postcards, we appreciate, the cost saving. We would like to see maybe a little bit more of that information we had traditionally gotten. So with that in mind, we have redesigned some of the postcard. Thanks very much for Sarah Bach in administration who helped us get the layout done. We've done it so that we now have all of the taxpayers' assessed value information included in the postcard, but it's not a simple two-sided postcard anymore. It's actually a folded option. So you can see they will get in the mail this postcard with the McLean County logo on the front, important property tax information enclosed on there. And then when you open it up, on the inside, you'll have all of the assessed value information that you will want. And then we still have that QR code in there that they can beep on. You can beep it on your phone, and you can bring up your property's record directly from our DevNet Wedge website on the county's page. So again, it's an effort to get taxpayers as much information as we possibly can and in as convenient a format as we can get it to them. We're really excited about the process this year, and so we're excited to see how that's going to shake out. Okay, like I said, it's going to be more information, a little bit easier to use, and I think it's a win all around. So that is assessment notices. We also, I was talking to Tony about it. You might have heard us discussing. We were flooded out again in our offices. This is the second time now in as many months we have had water damage come in to our building. Luckily, no vital records were damaged either time. This time came a little bit closer because we weren't able to get in there and get our stuff out of the way of the flooding because the first time it happened in late morning. So everybody was in there. So we were able to kind of all hands on deck, get all our important information sort of out of the way of the water when it was coming in. We didn't have that luxury yesterday. The water came in, it was 2 days, whenever it happened. We didn't have that luxury to get in there. And so we did have a lot of supplies that we had just reordered were, again, ruined. We understand, completely. It's kind of the lay of the land. You're in an old building. We're on the lowest level. We know that's going to happen. What that does prompt, however, are some serious calls to make sure that we are accommodating and making the important changes that we need to in case this happens again. The biggest concern right now is we have a lot of historical records that are on paper right now. And the only record we have of them existing is on paper. So we had already sort of broached the subject of getting some of those records digitized. So we have so these things are kept electronically. So, worst case happens, we can protect that. But we want to just stress that this is an important part of what we're looking at in the future is getting this information stored in a way that it's not liable to damage from an act of God like flooding or if there's a fire or something. There was a fire in the city of Bloomington a couple decades ago that did a lot of damage to their historical records. And we want to avoid that if at all possible. So again, just wanted to kind of put that bug in your ear that, hey, we got lucky this time. There was mishaps that were avoided, but anything can happen. So we are going to be looking at potentially some avenues for protecting our information. So there you go. Enough of the heavy stuff there. Our next big initiative that we're going to be working on is the county fair. As you know, we have been going out to the county fair. This will be the third year now. It's been a joint project between my office and Treasurer McNeil's office. We go out and we organize a booth for McLean County. Its primary focus has historically been on the property tax side of things because that's what Ms. McNeil and I know. But last year we opened that up and invited any county office that had any type of information they wanted to put out there to come and spend some time at the booth, even put some information out there to give to the public. And so we're extending that offer again this year. We are going to be out there. We are fortunate that regional planning has reached out to us and said, hey, we're going to be at the fair. You're going to be at the fair. Let's combine our efforts. And so we're actually going to have a joint booth between our offices that will help make sure we always have somebody from McLean County at the event and information to be provided. So we're really looking forward to that. So if you're out at the fair, come swing by, say hi to one of the folks who'll be out there. If you want to come and spend some time in the booth, we welcome you to do that as well. It's always nice to be able to come and answer taxpayer questions. I know from our side of things, we have helped many taxpayers get exemptions that had not been getting them because they stopped by the booth and said, hey, what kind of exemptions am I missing out on? And we say, are you over 65? Well, yeah. Are you getting a senior exemption? I don't think so. Come on down to the office. We've had many people come in and start getting their exemptions just because they came in and talked to us at the fair. So it's a great opportunity to meet constituents, meet taxpayers, eat disgusting amounts of unhealthy food, which is my favorite part of the event. It's just a great time all around. So I encourage you to participate if you like. One other item that I did want to bring to your attention, you guys don't need to act on it, but I spoke with Mr. Rude about it, and we did want to bring it to your attention. We're always in some stage of, I don't want to say litigation, but we're dealing with property tax complaints all the time at the state level. Sometimes we have to escalate those complaints up to get a little bit more involvement from the county or from any one of the taxing bodies who might have an interest. We have one particular property that we've been going back and forth on. We are still negotiating with the property owner. Hopefully we can come up with some kind of negotiation, but in order to make sure all of our interests are covered, we're going to request that the county file as an intervener in the process. That will just require a simple approval from the county board. Don's going to shepherd that through the process later on at exec, I believe. But we wanted to make sure that we brought it to your attention that this is something that we're doing. It's not anything you have to worry about. It's just sort of a formality that we have to go through. And with that, that's everything I got. I know I threw a lot at you. You guys got any questions for me? I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you very much for all of the information. And I hear from administration that would be an item that we would see through our stand-up process. All right, great. Let's go with comments or questions from the committee. You had brought up the postcard piece. Last year, we entered into the postcard as a cost savings. This year, it's got the kind of flap with the sticker. Are we anticipating any kind of increased cost with that one, or?
No, it's actually, we're still saving money, even year over year. So we're really, really happy with what we're doing here. We think it's really innovative, and it's a win-win for everybody.
All right, love it. Love to hear continuing innovation. Love to hear that our public enjoys it, as well as cost savings.
And one thing we are going to be doing, if I may, we're going to get a big blown-up version on a poster board of this, and we're going to have it on display at the fair so folks can see exactly what they're going to be getting in the mail come assessment notice time.
Awesome. I absolutely love the outreach that your team does. Thank you so much for continually being out and available to the McLean County public to be able to share answers to all of the questions, or at least information to help them answer the questions.
Well, I appreciate that. It's just something I really enjoy doing, so it's not a problem at all. I love being out and talking to folks and doing the sort of the public-facing part of the role.
Your passion is evident, sir, and we appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're the right person in the role. Also, I just wanted to address the flooding that happened yesterday. I'm so sorry that your team was put in a bad spot. It seems like things like this are unfortunately happening a little bit more often with some extreme weather things. And I definitely have to take a moment and commend the entire team that hopped to action really quickly yesterday. I know the building services team did a lot of work I know administration really did a lot of work of trying to mitigate the overall impact of it. I'm certainly sorry that your team felt quite a bit of the brunt of it, but I look forward to hearing and to maybe discussing what are some of the things that we can do to prevent impacts like this in the future, and what can we do to support your team in getting those vital records in a safe space.
Thank you very much. And if I may, just one more, I do want to say thank you very much to Mr. Grant and James downstairs, and especially Ms. Taylor. We have never felt that we've been lacking support when these sorts of things happen. I've seen Ms. Taylor sloshing through ankle-deep water several times now, helping us navigate this. So we are very, very grateful for the hands-on involvement that we get when this stuff happens.
We kind of have a dream team scenario happening in this county with all of the folks who come together, both in the mundane moments, but also in the extreme moments too. So ultimate gratitude for everybody and the efforts that they put forward to make it workable, or at least as close to workable as possible. All right, seeing no additional comments or questions, we can continue forward on our agenda. Thank you very much, Mr. Jorsak. So typically we would carry on to item F, where we would welcome our county administrator, Ms. Cassie Taylor. However, I would like to request a switch up on the order of the agenda. Since all items under F are those that would necessitate a closed session, I'd like to go ahead and ask that we continue on to item 5 before we get to F. So that way we can go ahead and do 5A. Everybody okay with that one? So we can make it easy? All right, let's continue on then to 5A, other business and communication. I want to let everybody know that our next meeting, contrary to what the packet says, we're not going to have another meeting after this meeting adjourns tonight, but we will have our next Finance Committee meeting on August 6th, 2025. Does anyone on the committee have items for other business or communication? I do have one thing that I wanted to bring up. I know Ms. McNeil shared in her information earlier on that we have in fact missed the deadline that's associated with the audit. And that right now we're operating on an extension. So understanding that we've received information from CLA that ultimately the audit will in fact be late at this juncture, and that we know there are some potential circumstances that would be associated with it, and some unfortunate side effects that would come from the lateness of that. That we're still waiting on some of the information to come from the auditor to be able to complete the full audit process and getting things associated over to CLA to complete that audit. So I think at this point, I'd like to bring up to the committee that I think it might be appropriate for us to consider perhaps getting a request for a legal opinion from the state's attorney's office, and perhaps seeing what exactly can be done on a county level to compel an elected official to fulfill their statutory obligations of their role. So before doing so and before entering and making that request, just wanting to check in with the committee and what say you as far as supporting making that legal request.
Absolutely. You know, if the root cause is known, address it and take care of it if possible, so.
Yeah, okay. All right, then I think Mr. Rood, the Finance Committee would like to go ahead and request a legal opinion. So we'll connect with, we'll send out a formal request to you and to the full state's attorney's office to just ask the question of what can be done to compel an elected official to fulfill statutory obligations for the role. Okay, thank you very much. Any additional comments or questions from members of the committee before we move on to our next agenda item? Okay. All right. Let us now then continue, go back in time on the agenda into item 4F 1A. This is a section where we speak with our county administrator, Ms. Cassie Taylor. 4F 1A is the request approval of a contract between the Laborers International Union of North America, Local 362, and the County of McLean Metcom agreement. This was distributed separately from the packet. And I'd like to ask the committee if we are in need to go into closed session to discuss this matter, or if you're in a position to go ahead and vote at this time. Anyone requesting a closed session? Okay, then I'll go ahead and take a motion to put this on the floor for discussion, please. We've got a motion by Member Fagan and a second by Vice Chair Friedrich. Let's go ahead and put F1A, since we are stepping aside from the option of closed session. F1A is the request approval of the contract between Laborers International Union of North America, Local 362, to the County of McLean Metcom agreement. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
And the motion carries with 3 ayes and 1 nay. That carries us along to item F1B. This is the request, consideration, and authorization for settlement of case number 21CV1129. This one is information that we will need to go into closed session pending litigation. Litigation when an action against, affecting, or on behalf of the particular public body has been filed and is pending before a court of administrative tribunal, or when the public body fits that an action is probable or imminent, in which case the basis for the finding shall be recorded and entered into the minutes of the closed meeting. And item C is a request, consideration, or authorization for the settlement of matter 25 MC001, closed session pending litigation when an action against, affecting, or on behalf of the particular public body has been filed and is pending before a court administrative tribunal, or when the public body finds that the action is probable or imminent, in which case the basis for finding shall be recorded and entered into the minutes of the closed meeting. Might I have a motion to go into closed session, please? We have a motion by Member Fagan and a second by Member Roseman Mendoza. At this point, I would ask for all additional folks that are not members of this direct body. Thank you very much for your time here this evening. We'll be turning off our microphones and returning at the very end for an adjournment.